Posted by you/thrower_butter_drama. I, 24F, have been dating my boyfriend, 30M, for 2 years, and we finally moved in together. Ever since we moved in, I've seen a new side of him. It's a very odd issue, and I can't wrap my head around what to do. At first, I started to notice butter disappearing quickly. I assumed maybe I'd lost track of how much we had, or maybe he was cooking when I wasn't around, I don't know. But one night, a few weeks ago, I saw him try to stealthily take a stick of butter from the fridge, which I pretended not to notice, and he took the butter with him into the bathroom. Since we moved in, I've noticed my boyfriend spending an hour or more in the bathroom, but I'd never seen him take the butter before. I was so confused. When he came out of the bathroom about an hour later, I saw no sign of the butter, but I also noticed he did not put the butter back in the fridge. It was gone. I tried to subtly keep an eye on him, and over the week, he did this 3 separate times. Each time, a stick of butter disappeared. Finally, I said one day, "Where did all our butter go? I hardly used any this week, and it's gone." He pretended not to know and said maybe we'd forgotten to buy more. I said, "No, we had 4 sticks before, and now they're gone." He just acted like it was a mystery and said, "Guess we should order some groceries." By now, I was getting very confused. So I ordered groceries and made a point of saying, "Good to finally have 4 sticks of butter. This should last us quite a while." He made no comment. On the first 2 days, whenever I used a small amount of butter, I'd remark about how much butter we had left. Finally, one day I saw him do it again. He took a stick of butter into the bathroom, was gone for an hour or so, and came back without it. I couldn't believe it. So, when I made dinner, I acted shocked that 1 stick of butter was gone. He said, maybe we only had 3, but he knew I'd been making a point of it. The very next day, another stick of butter was gone. I listened at the bathroom door and heard sink water running and thought I heard moaning noises. I was so confused. This time, when he came out, I said I know he's been taking butter into the bathroom. He got all flustered and said I must be mistaken, but I told him I'd literally seen him take butter into the bathroom and come out without it, and that I know he's been lying to me about the quantity of butter in our fridge. He then started apologizing for misleading me but said, "Let's just not talk about it," and when he saw I was getting mad, he said, "What if I just order my own separate, private butter?" I was like, okay, but what are you doing with the butter? He asked me to promise to never ask about his butter activities again, and to just put it behind us. He said, just look the other way on this one thing, and stressed how it's not a big deal at the end of the day. I was like, okay, I guess. But I have been so confused and even disturbed by it. Like, what is he doing with the butter? Why was he lying about it? Why won't he tell me? I don't even think he's eating it because he's not an overweight guy, and I feel like if someone ate that much butter, they'd gain weight, but he shows no signs of it. I'm just like, who is this guy? Am I overreacting? It's just so odd. I see him in a different light and am not sure what to do. Should I just ignore it? Update 1 day later. This morning, I said, look, yes, you should buy private personal butter for your activities, but I need to know what you do with the butter. He got very quiet and then said, fine, I'll tell you just this once, and he told me. He told me everything. I was so mortified and confused. I cannot tell you what it is, but I will say it is a sensual activity. Extremely sensual. It is definitely an inappropriate use of butter. I cannot even type what it is due to how graphic it is. On one hand, it's just butter, but on the other, I can no longer see him the same way. I'm staying at my parents'. To make matters worse, a friend of his found my other post and sent it to him, saying, lol, this must be about you. I guess he used to do it in college too, and he is furious. Now, other people I know in real life know what he does with butter. He is angry at me for exposing his butter-based proclivities. Now I have probably ruined my relationship, and everyone knows my business, causing me shame and humiliation. I can't believe what he does with butter, though, and I don't think I can be with somebody who does things like that. I consider it a momentous mistake for me to have ever confronted him about it. This is my mistake, because I can never unknow what I know. Commenter. I don't really want to type this, but I'm trying to rack my brain to think of something particularly unusual that would take an hour with a stick of butter that seemingly starts out cold. Also, the fact that she doesn't want to describe it seemingly rules out the quick single-sentence description she would probably have an easier time just typing out. It has to be unique enough that she doesn't even want to figure out how to put it into her own words, because then she'd have to think about it in too much detail. I feel like she would have mentioned if it seemed like he had to do significant cleanup. She would have mentioned if it seemed like he had to dry off afterward, and that would have been more evidence in and of itself. So, I don't think he's rolling around in it or even screwing it because that seems like there would be too much water involved. There aren't wet towels. I can't imagine effectively washing a large area of butter with just toilet paper, and paper towels would leave too much obvious evidence. It's something that does require an hour, and he needs to be able to clean up with toilet paper and maybe a bidet, but I don't think you can wash large parts of your body off in the sink without getting water involved in lots of places and probably making weird noises. The water is running to cover noises, not for cleanup. It has to be something that wouldn't be loud enough to hear over a running sink and possibly a fan. I feel like a lot of things would make distinctive squelching noises, which would blow his cover too easily. Taking all of those points into account, without further ado, here is my hypothesis. He is somehow shoving the cold stick of butter up his bum. That seems like a given. I don't think butter straight from the fridge would be that difficult since it's self-lubricating as it melts but still mostly cold at first. Maybe he shapes it a little at the tip, but his technique isn't really important, just that it gets in. His main kink is feeling it melt inside him. Maybe he likes to try to hold it in, or something about the drip rate is important, but I can't imagine it would be easy to hold back. When it melts, and it's damn melted butter, it's coming out whether you want it to or not. I feel like putting anything else up there would probably make it come out a lot faster, and he wouldn't need the whole hour. He might jack off, he might not, but I don't think he's using the butter for that part, and I think the butter is the main event. Everything ends up going directly into the toilet and can be flushed away. If he's not smearing it around, cleanup shouldn't be too hard. A lot of the duration might just be giving it enough time to be confident that there won't be any leakage after leaving the bathroom. He probably takes a dump to help clean out the old pipe. It's a one-way street. A few good high-fiber diet turds probably take any remaining butter with them. Give it a good squirt with a bidet if he has one, and wipe a bunch just to be sure. If it wasn't spread anywhere else on him, he can just flush, maybe give the toilet a whirl with a brush to make sure there isn't surprise evidence under the rim, wash his hands really well, check for evidence thoroughly, and boom, the perfect crime. He probably does something weird like washing the butter wrapper off and hiding it in his shoe or something. Hell, maybe he eats the damn wrapper to add another level of crazy. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I never want to think about this again. I think I'm going to go take a shower, don't worry, I'm out of butter at the moment.